Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the channel. My name is Edem with Global Abundance LLC, and on this channel, we talk all things real estate. If you find value in the content here, hit the like button, subscribe, share, and comment. Also, we have a free VIP group that's an awesome community of like minded individuals buying and selling real estate all across the country. If you'd like to join, the link is in the description below. It's totally free to join. So, in this video, we're venturing into this wild world of utilities and infrastructure, or rather the lack thereof. It's like setting up camp in the great outdoors, only to realize you forgot the actual tent and sleeping blankets. Oops. Uh, we're talking about vacant land and the often invisible yet very important elements that can make or break its value. So put on your utility belts because we're about to dig deep into the not so glamorous but utterly essential world of what lies beneath and above your land. So let's go. So utilities and infrastructure. They're the unsung heroes of land development. Imagine buying a beautiful piece of vacant land, dreaming of building a perfect home, and then discovering there's no water, no power, no nothing. It's like buying a smartphone only to realize that they sold you a Motorola flip phone with none of the modern bells and whistles. In the urban jungle, utilities might be taken for granted. You expect to have electricity, water, sewer systems, even Wi Fi as basic as the air you breathe. But in vacant land, not so much. Some counties in areas of the country are like taking a step back in time. And let's not forget infrastructure: roads, bridges, street lights. These are the veins and arteries that connect your land to the world. Without them, your land is like a deserted island, beautiful, but oh so lonely, and unfortunately, not very useful. Which brings me to a property in Carroll County, Georgia, that I bought and sold years ago. This parcel of land was a little over an acre, bought sight unseen. The property itself was about three parcels removed from the main road, but there was only an outline of a proposed road to access the property. Now, when it was uh, uh, that happened when it was split from a bigger parcel decades ago, meaning there was no actual road. In fact, a road had to be graded and approved by the city zoning and planning department and the neighbors' parcels to even get physical access to the property. Trust me, depending on the county where a piece of land is located, if it's landlocked with no legal or physical access, it can be a pain in the butt trying to work with that parcel. Uh, I sold that property to a couple who was okay with going through the process with the county to get access to their new property, and of course there was no water or electric on that actual parcel either, adding another headache that they were just as well willing to deal with. Um, in the city, the challenge isn't just about having utilities, it's about navigating the bureaucratic labyrinth of connecting them. It's like, playing a game of Monopoly, but instead of buying properties, you're just collecting all the utility hookups. And just like Monopoly, it can be frustratingly long and costly going through that process. So let's say you've got this prime piece of land in the city. You all ready to go, all set to build, but then you hit a snag. The sewer line is as far as away as the nearest pizza place that refuses to deliver to your area. Or maybe the electric grid is more tangled than your last attempt at putting up holiday lights. So getting these sorted in some cases can be like solving a Rubik's Cube blindfolded in the dark. Speaking of which, if you can solve a Rubik's Cube blindfolded in the dark, here's a virtual high five. You're special. And the cost, oh, the cost. It's like ordering a cup of coffee and then being told that you have to buy the entire coffee shop. So landowners in the city often face steep fees for extending utilities, not to mention the red tape that can wrap you up like an ancient mummy. Now, out in the sticks, it's a whole different ball game. You're not just off the grid, sometimes you're off the map. So here you might have land as far as the eye could see, but without utilities. It's like having a car with no gas. Sure, it looks great, but you're not going anywhere anytime soon. Water, you might have to dig a well deeper than your list of X's. Electricity, solar panels might be your best new friend, but they're not always cheap or easy to set up. Uh, and internet, let's just say you might get more signals and UFO sightings from outer space than a rural Wi Fi connection. But it's not all doom and gloom, though. Going off grid can be an adventure. It's like being a pioneer, living in harmony with nature and discovering the joys of self sufficiency. Plus, the peace and quiet are worth their weight in gold. And infrastructure is another piece of the puzzle. It's all well and good to have utilities, but if you can't actually get to your land, it's like owning a library card, but the library is on the moon. Okay, roads, access, these are critical, as I mentioned earlier in the video with the property that I had years ago. In urban settings, the issue might be upgrading existing infrastructure. It's like playing Jenga. You pull one piece out to improve it, and suddenly the whole thing needs careful rebalancing. In rural areas, the challenge is often starting from scratch. Building a road can be more complicated than assembling furniture without the instructions and way more expensive. And let's talk about streetlights, signage, even basic things like mail delivery. These are all the little touches that turn a piece of land from just some place to my place. Without them, you might as well be living in a ghost town. Now, dear landowners, do not despair though. Every challenge is an opportunity in disguise. Lack of utilities? Consider eco friendly alternatives like solar or wind power. No water. Rainwater harvesting could be a new hobby unless you're, of course, in California, where collecting rainwater can be illegal in some areas. Weird, I know. No roads? Well, time to befriend your local officials and advocate for development. It's about creativity, innovation, and sometimes a bit of old fashioned grit. Remember, pioneers didn't have utilities either, but they built the foundations of our modern world that we live in today. You're not just buying land, you're buying potential, a canvas where your dreams can take shape, utility lines or not. Well, there it is, the epic tale of utilities and infrastructure on vacant land. It's a story of challenges, yes, but also of incredible possibilities. Now, whether you're in the heart of the city or out where the wild things are, understanding and embracing the details of your land can lead to fantastic outcomes. So keep dreaming, keep planning, and remember, where there's a will and maybe a solar panel or two, there's a way. Until next time, stay connected, even if it's just metaphorically.